Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. In today's video, I'm going to be covering one of the most incredible and profound UFO close encounters in history, and definitely in the world of documented encounter reports. At least I believe it to be. This is the story of the Ariel School close encounter, which took place in Zimbabwe in 1994. Before we dive into this case, though, I have a quick message from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. The Ridge Wallet is a sleek, durable, minimalist wallet that is perfect for your everyday carry loadout. They make it in aluminum, carbon fiber, and titanium. I got mine in the aluminum version in OD green because I think it looks the coolest, and mine also has a money clip on it. However, because I hate having things in my pockets altogether or wearing out my pants, I actually just clip the Ridge Wallet right onto my belt and keep it out of the way, and it stays on there quite securely. The Ridge Wallet is RFID blocking, has a lifetime warranty, and can hold up to 12 cards. You need to get rid of that ugly folding leather dad wallet that's overflowing with cards and receipts and crap you don't need. You need to pick up a Ridge Wallet. If you go to ridge.com/mountainbeast and use promo code mountainbeast, you can get 10% off and free worldwide shipping. That's ridge.com/mountainbeast, promo code mountainbeast. There's a link down below in the description. So the 1994 Ariel School UFO or alien close encounter, it's both because we have both elements. We have a UFO sighting and an alien encounter in the same report. So this took place in Zimbabwe at a school called Ariel School, and what happened one day while the kids were outside playing was, out of nowhere, these UFO craft appeared and landed right at the edge of the playground area. Now, the report says there were multiple craft, but by the craft that was closer to the students, an actual alien being or entity appeared and was essentially looking right at the students. And there was a lot of students. There was, I think, over 60. I think there was around 64 students that were present at the time that witnessed this, and that were all interviewed after the fact. But what they described was seeing these aircraft, these UFO craft, that were oval-shaped or disc-shaped. They had lights on them, and they were landed there at the edge of the playground, and like I said, this alien being appeared beside the closest craft to them, and he was described as being about the size of a grade 6 student. He had a large head and large eyes. So basically you have your classic description of an extraterrestrial. We hear this a lot. We have the big head, big eyes. It was apparently wearing a jumpsuit that was all black. And I don't know what it is with aliens and jumpsuits, but it seems in most reports where an alien being is wearing clothing, it's always a jumpsuit. Maybe that's just like the most efficient way of clothing oneself, just having one piece of clothing. But anyways, they all describe the same thing. They all, drew out what they saw, and all the drawings are very similar. And, like I said, this was all documented. This was all filmed after the fact. So you can actually go on YouTube, you can search the Ariel UFO case and the interviews, and you can watch the footage of these children being interviewed about what they saw. And it is amazing. I have no doubt in my mind that these kids saw something and, are telling the truth about what happened. You have to check out the footage for yourself. I'll have a link down below in the description, so make sure you watch that. Now, these students obviously ran to their teachers, to the principal, to everyone, all the adults, and were explaining what happened. And it's really cool because even the teachers and like the principal and everyone at the school who was like an adult, they believe these kids. Like, they're certain that these kids experienced something. And there was like a media frenzy after this. After a word got out that this happened, like lots of news reporters and everyone came, and it was just like chaos basically. And the kids were overwhelmed by that. It also attracted the attention of a Harvard psychiatrist named Dr. John Mack. And so Dr. John Mack is the guy who went over there to interview these kids and to figure out, like, what the heck is going on? Like, all these kids are saying the same thing and have the same story and claim for 100% certainty that they have encountered this alien being, you know, in these flying saucer spacecraft. So to have a case that is so profound that it attracts, you know, a professor from Harvard, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I wish we could get something like that, you know, in the Bigfoot community. I mean, we have Dr. Jeff Meldrum, who's, you know, an academic, but that's pretty much it. But one of the most interesting and fascinating parts of this story is that the students all claimed that this being didn't say a word, like it didn't vocalize anything, but what it did was it was sending out like images to their minds, and it was kind of communicating in a telepathic way. And the message that most of these students got from this thing was that we're, as a species, you know, humanity is going down a wrong path, especially with technology. We're misusing technology. It's not taking us down a road that is any good for us, and we need to kind of smarten up about that. And like, if we look at the world nowadays, obviously, like, technology is good in certain ways, but it's also, I think it's destroying us. You know, like social media and all that, it's getting really out of hand. And, you know, it's not a stretch to think that technology is well on its way to ruining us as a species. So I think that is very interesting. Also, another interesting fact is that before this happened, there were a few days of UFO reports in Zimbabwe of saucer-like craft being seen, and there's even footage. People, like amateur videographers, had filmed some of these craft. So, you know, 3 days of sightings kind of ended with this encounter at Ariel School. So it's certainly one of the most fascinating cases. It's a mass UFO sighting that was witnessed by 64 students. I mean, they are kids, they're little kids, but when you watch the footage, you can see like how sincere they are and how scared they are and how they must have felt. And it's also really cool because these students, I mean, they're adults now. I suppose they're probably in their early to mid 30s. But they've all been interviewed in recent years. You can go on YouTube, you can watch footage from like, well, up until 2019, 2020, of these students talking about this case. And this case was featured in the new documentary called The Phenomenon by director James Fox. I'll have a link down below for a trailer to that film. I highly, highly recommend checking out that film. It's all about the UFO subject, and this case is featured at the very end of it. And it's very, very fascinating to watch. So I highly recommend going and finding that documentary and renting it and just giving it a chance, because it's one of the best documentaries on the UFO subject out there. But very amazing. I mean, to this day, everyone still swears that this actually happened. And they all saw this same alien being with these big black eyes and a black jumpsuit. And it was just, you know, staring right at them and transmitting this message. And it's just amazing that all the students kind of felt the same thing and got the same images in their minds and felt the same message. Another interesting thing is that I was recently listening to a podcast, and I heard, I don't know if this is fact or not, but it's what I've heard, is that back in the day when, like during the Cold War, when the United States government had the like the remote viewing programs. You know, if you've seen the documentary Third Eye Spies, you know what this is all about. Remote viewing is where you can basically, without being in a location that you've never been to before, you can visualize in your mind, you know, what it looks like, and you could draw it out, and it's all like, it's a crazy psychic phenomenon that seems to be a reality. And, we do know for a fact that the US government did have this program. And I'm assuming, other governments around the world had this program as well. And, obviously the main use of it is to spy on other countries, right? You can gather intelligence without even, leaving the country, without leaving, let's say like the CIA headquarters or whatever. You can just have a team of remote viewers that gather intelligence through their minds, But anyways, what I heard was that one of these agents had remote viewed, or wanted to, I guess, remote view where, if there were alien bases on the Earth, where would they be? And he said one was, he did the remote viewing process, and he said one of the bases was in Alaska, one was in Australia. There was another one, I can't remember where it was, but one of the bases he said was in Zimbabwe, of all places, where this Ariel School encounter happened. So I found that to be a very interesting coincidence. Was this being and these spacecraft from that base? Maybe. I suppose it's a possibility. For me, like, aliens and UFOs is the one thing I don't need like a clear piece of footage to believe. I've always just kind of believed without seeing, I have seen a lot of weird things in the sky, but aliens is one thing that I can like believe without actually seeing, which makes it different from the Bigfoot topic. I need to see some like physical hard evidence for Bigfoot, and I don't know why that is, but I think this case is very compelling, and for me it's one of the most astounding cases on record. Imagine being a kid, like a small kid, and you're in school and you witness something like this. The one girl in the interview in the documentary The Phenomenon claimed that this being was only like a meter in front of her. Like, that's how close this thing was to her, which is frightening. So, I don't know. Do some research, go on Google and investigate this case, watch that documentary, The Phenomenon, and go on YouTube and like look at the interview footage of these kids, because it is incredible. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I wanted to share this encounter with you guys. I thought it was just fantastic, and I really wanted to talk about it. I know it's not a Bigfoot video, but whatever, we can talk about all kinds of mysteries here on this channel. So thanks for watching. Also, if you guys want to make a donation to Mountain Beast Mysteries, if you want to support the channel and all the new content and future expeditions, you can click the GoFundMe link down below. I created a new GoFundMe campaign just to take in general donations to the channel for those people who want to support Mountain Beast Mysteries. So have a look at that. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.